The Mandalorian episodic directors revealed. That is the headline of this week's Force Friday show. And joining me as always to discuss all things Star Wars is Stephen. We've also got a title, Stephen. This dropped last week after our show, after we'd recorded our show. It's The Mandalorian. We've had a whole host of information coming out. Jon Favreau's been speaking about the show. He's released a synopsis, and as I did say, the headline is the list of directors, and there's quite a few intriguing ones in there. I'll let you in to give your views on it before I give mine, Stephen.
First, John, I think we should talk about that picture, that snapshot cool. they've released of the Mandalorian. We don't know too much about this apparent gunslinger, so that kind of hints to me that it's going to be sort of Western themed, very much like Solo was. This is obviously set 3 years after Return of the Jedi. We're going to see the galaxy under the New Republic, which we've not really seen. It was all obliterated in The Force Awakens very quickly. So it's going to be a very interesting time and the period they're setting this in. But just looking at the list of directors, John, that's going to be putting their skills to test in this television series is the likes of Dallas Howard, Deborah Chow, Filoni's in there as well, and Waititi. These are all people that we know either by their acting chops or their directorial chops. They seem to be ticking all the right boxes as far as I'm concerned. Certainly with Dave Filoni, we've been saying for long enough that this guy deserves a crack at live action directing. Such a successful director with the animated series The Clone Wars and Rebels. It was about time this guy got the chance. I'm delighted to see his name in the mix there. Very interesting to see the likes of Bryce Dallas Howard in there as well. We know her from obviously the Jurassic World franchise as an actress. She's a terrific actress. Her father just directed a Star Wars film, Ron Howard, so hopefully she's a chip off the old block. And we do know that our only previous experiences at short movies and stuff like that, so this is another step for her to really learn the trade. Waititi in there as well, probably directed one of my favourite Thor films. There is only 3 to be fair, but that certainly was the best one out of the 3. I'm not too sure about Deborah Chow. I only know her from television series Jessica Jones and Iron Fist, but she seems to do a good job on them, particularly Jessica Jones. It's one of my favourite television series from the Marvel Netflix stuff, and it's great to see. We know it's an 8-episode show as well now, which I'm a little bit disappointed about because I'm greedy. I want as much Star Wars stuff as possible, but I think possibly this is just the start of things to come, and I'm certainly looking forward to it. And this is, last week we got the picture revealed that a lot of people were debating was possibly Tatooine, etc. It was a pretty grainy picture that circled Jon Favreau in the middle, and that's all we got. And it was pretty pathetic when you think about it, when you see what we're getting now. Certainly looking forward to this series just based on that picture, John.
Yeah, absolutely. I find the director list that we've received to be very intriguing indeed. Obviously, Taika Waititi speaks for himself, Stephen, an absolutely phenomenal director. He's got his own distinct style, his own distinct humour. So it'd be intriguing to see how he's going to blend that into the Star Wars setting. It may open up the possibility of him coming in to direct an actual Star Wars feature-length film as well. Although, who knows, the way film and entertainment's going these days seems to be more and more TV-centric. Studios realise that this is a great way to get content across, long-form content, because also in a Star Wars film or any film in general, you're kind of limited to the running time. We're all going off our heads just last year, prior to the release of The Last Jedi, because it was announced that it was going to be 2.5 hours long. It was the longest Star Wars film we'd ever got to date. When you look at the possibilities with this TV show, Stephen, 8 to 10 hours essentially. If it's an hour long episode, then you've got 8 episodes, that's 8 hours of storytelling. And usually what you find with these TV shows is the opening episode, the premiere, will usually be about an hour and 15-20 minutes long. It's usually an extended episode, and then the season finale is usually an extended episode as well. Certainly in The Walking Dead you see that. You get an hour and a half long specials and stuff, so there's a potential we could have 10 hours worth of Star Wars storytelling here. and that is just unknown territory really with Star Wars. We've never seen this before, out with of the Clone Wars and stuff like that. Obviously live action, we've never seen it before, so that is very intriguing. That opens up a whole array of possibilities for what they can do with storytelling, playing the long game, developing characters out, developing out politics and stuff, and seeing how it impacts on different locations and characters going forward. And the directors are getting in though, very intriguing to me, as I did say. I'm absolutely delighted that we are getting Dave Filoni finally coming in. As you did say, I'm echoing what you said, Stephen, getting his shot at directing live action stuff, because he's proven himself with the animated side that he gets Star Wars. He knows how to flesh out canon, introduce characters, he knows how to handle powerful characters in Star Wars such as Darth Vader, even Darth Maul and Grand Admiral Thrawn. He knows how to get these characters into a story in a way that's not going to ruin the balance with all the other characters we've grown to love. And he knows how to use them in a way where it's not overpowering the story. So I cannot wait to see what he brings. I feel like this is his chance to show what he's made of in the live action. This may see him thrust into feature-length films if he does a great job, and I'm sure he will. Bryce Dallas Howard, can't lie, don't know much about her in terms of directing ability, but as you did say, Ron Howard's daughter, so if she's picked up anything while she's been around that guy, then she's going to do well. The other thing is just the clear multiculturalism and all these choices, Stephen. You've got all different backgrounds, ethnicities. Rick Famuyiwa, he's an African American chap. Deborah Cho, she's I believe Canadian, also of Chinese ethnicity. So once again, they're really trailblazing in terms of multiculturalism and giving all facets of society a chance to come in and helm these episodes, and maybe give them a chance to go on and pursue filmmaking in a bigger, grander scale going forward. We've seen it with the cast and the actors and actresses. This is something you can't criticise Kathleen Kennedy for, incidentally. She's good to it's true to her word. She says she would give everyone, regardless of creed, colour, background, a chance to succeed, and she's done that, to be fair. In terms of the story though, Stephen, I think the possibilities are absolutely endless. When I heard this news, I was absolutely delighted. Certainly the part about it being a lone gunslinger traversing the outer rim parts of the galaxy, where it's kind of untouched with the authority of the Empire, and we'll see where it's going to be touched with the New Republic as it fleshes out the stories. But it's so intriguing. Western setting, we've seen it with Solo. Some would say it was done okay, I'd say it was done okay, but I think it could have been done better. And hopefully this is going to be like the man with no name type situation, where he's just a mysterious figure going about his business, doesn't really have any connections in any way with anybody or anything around about him. He's just a bit of a loner that's going about doing whatever the hell he wants, basically. The possibilities are absolutely endless. It's a possibility, Stephen, that he could have a secret identity as well. I says that to you. Might even be Boba Fett. Because there's talk, we've seen it in the novels, I can't remember which one it was, but there was a novel where his armour had popped up and that there was some serious damage done to the Sarlacc. So it's clear to me that he survived, so maybe we'll get to see this guy popping up again, Boba. But he ain't a Mandalorian, Stephen, so that would completely destroy the title. No. He just stole the armour. So he ain't a Mandalorian, so that wouldn't jive as in any way, shape or form. I'm throwing that word in there. That 70s word, jive. We're talking about Star Wars, it was all formed in the 70s. But can't wait to see more about the Mandalorians as well. An absolutely fascinating species, very warmongering in their nature, deeply divided, almost tribalistic the way they're going on. And this guy's just completely separate to the whole thing. He's not connected to the inner politics, I believe, of Mandalore. He's out doing his own thing, and it's just great to see this race getting more spotlight put on it in a live action sense. It's going to be great for fans like me who love all things Star Wars, but if you've not read the novels or you've not watched the Clone Wars, you're a slightly less hardcore fan, and you will get a chance to feast upon this great race.
One thing from the picture though, John, that I don't know if I want this character to be revealed. If it is going to be primarily focused on this character, then at some point we might have to see his face, because it's going to become a bit emotionless. Just having this guy walking about with that mask on and just hearing the voice, because that was some of the annoyances from the fan base when Kylo Ren revealed his face. But you get an actor like Adam Driver, you don't want him being behind the mask the whole time anyway, so you're kind of conflicted, and I'm sort of getting that vibe from this character as well. I like the suit, I like the helmet, I like the mysteriousness of the character, because at this point there's not been any cast announcements.
Well, there was rumours, I think Pablo Pascal was the chap there heavily rumoured to be playing this leading guy, so that'd be an incredible cast. And he was amazing in Game of Thrones. One of the best things in that season he was in. Obviously meets an untimely end, quite a gruesome end. Gets his skull crushed.
It is early days, to be fair. I mean, the announcement will come sooner or later anyway, we know that.
We've got guys in skyscrapers, Stephen, taking photos from 200 feet away, so he's going to have to take that helmet off at some point, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly. But we don't have a release date of this either, John. I take it this is going to coincide with Disney's announcement when they're announcing the streaming service going live, and I think this is going to be sort of top billing. I think when that's finally is streaming. But we're going to move on, John, to our next topic. And this was something that was picked up on WeGotThisCovered.com. That's a good name for a website. And it is episode 9 set pics could signal a return to Rogue One location. Now, the title of this article, possibly, it's not misleading, but when you actually delve into it a little bit more and we get to see the screenshot they're talking about, they do then go on to say it could be either going back to possibly Jeddah or Jakku from The Force Awakens. It's interesting. There's a couple of theories out there in regards to whether or not, if it's going to be Jeddah or what's left of Jeddah after Rogue One, because that place was just totally obliterated. Whether or not maybe Rey's on a journey of discovering all these relics or whatever from the past. I don't know if anything left from that planet or that city, I should say. And then we think back to Jakku as well, where we first met Rey, whether or not we're going to see some kind of explanation for these fallen Star Destroyers, because there is rumours out there. We spoke about it last week in regards to Luke Skywalker's his powers at his peak, being able to bring down skyscrapers from the sky with the Force. Whether or not we're going to see a flashback sequence, maybe that's why they're there. But again, it's these photographs that come out very early on in production, and the fans speculate. They build up little scenarios in their minds to see where it takes them. We see the likes of, I don't want to mention his name, but a certain YouTuber will certainly make a lot of stories out of these set photos as well. But I think it's interesting. It shows that the ball's rolling in this production, as we know, and some of the shots are beautiful. When you just look at some of the backdrops and that blue sky and those sandy, landscapes, it does look interesting. I think it looks more like Jeddah. I've got to be honest. I think it looks more like Jeddah than it does Jakku. Jakku was more similar to Tatooine, where it had dunes. This looks more like actual mountains, But then again, Tatooine did have mountains. That whole sequence with R2-D2 when he was picked up by the Jawas, that was certainly a rocky terrain. So it might be that. Who knows? Yeah,
the thing that I find absolutely disturbing and odd is in one of the photos, they've got these pop-up 2D figures just littered out across the desert. Across the plain. I'm not going to. What is a desert? And it's bizarre. They're like alien creatures in robes, ready, maroon and blue robes, and I'm absolutely perplexed as to what the hell's going on there. That would say to me that this could perhaps be. I don't know. I was about to say it could be refugees coming from the First Order attack on the New Republic, but this is going to be set years after. It can't be set again right after The Last Jedi. That was a disastrous direction for them to take, to me anyway. Backed them into a corner in terms of storytelling. So this is going to be set years after, but I'm baffled by these alien figures out in the desert, dressed in vibrantly coloured robes. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, you're right, Stephen, the set design's incredible. You're seeing these big structures, it looks like vehicles. It's not like anything I've ever seen before. I don't know what to make of those vehicles. They look strange in their design. It would probably scream more Tatooine to me, if I'm being honest with you, looking at the vehicle designs, but I don't think we'll be going back to Tatooine again. We've been and done that to the death. In terms of Jeddah, I thought Jeddah was absolutely wiped out. I thought half that planet was gone after the Death Star fired down upon it, so I don't know how that would work. How would the gravity work? Maybe it's reformed. I don't know. It is a long time that's transpired between. Jakku is certainly a possibility. Obviously with Rey's absolute obsession with Jakku and her family, her parents, and Kyle saying that they died and they're in a pauper's grave, they were drunks. So she could be going back there to look into her family again, look into her parents. And I don't know why they'd be going back to Jakku. Obviously Finn will not be going back because he's dead set against that place, Jakku. No, he doesn't want to go back there. Near to that, to be honest with you. But JJ. And then the other possibility, Stephen, is that it's a completely new location. They're going to maybe another desert location. We've had 3 now. We could have 4.
Yeah.
Possibilities are endless. I don't know what to make of it. There's a lot of speculation. But one thing that also came out, Stephen, I don't know when this was, but it's from making Star Wars. They're going to a jungle location as well, a new jungle location. Or the Falcon is anyway. And whoever's on board that is going to a jungle location. So could this be Kashyyyk? Could we be going to see the Wookiees? Or could it be Endor?
I was going to say, John, I think it could be Endor because you know that Kylo Ren's obsession with his grandfather.
Yeah.
And this was his resting place when you think about it, you know. But I think that it's already been suggested that he's already visited Endor. How else would they have got that?
The helmet, yeah.
The helmet, you know. Yeah. So I don't think it's... Kashyyyk was more sort of tropical. It was more... And
they were massive, the trees.
I was trying to remember what it was based on. It was probably based on the likes of, Vietnam, that sort of, that climate, you know.
And even the Amazon, with these big, massive towering trees.
Yeah, certainly, you know, and I think... I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, because I'm pretty sure Endor had pretty big trees as well. We saw, one of the speeder bike troopers crash into one of these big trunks. So I don't honestly know. The only other one it reminds me of is Starkiller Base, but that's gone. Yeah. I don't really know, but it's very interesting to see these shots coming out this early on as well in production. You know, they're set shots. They're not like someone's got some telescopic lens and zoomed right in. Apart from maybe that creepy one in the desert with those strange characters, that looks deliberate though, John. That looks like I don't know if it's possibly models or something like that, where they're trying to figure out the perspective and the size of characters and stuff like that, and it's just like putting these random mannequins in or whatever. But it's a bit creepy, especially if you picked it up on Google Maps.
Imagine if we're there already, Steve, when they turned up. That would have been, they would have bailed out of that location immediately. But listen, the other possibility for the jungle planet is Yavin 4. I had a lot of woods. Yeah. Maybe going back there. I don't know Geonosis. Why again. Geonosis. Yeah. Could be going to Geonosis. Yeah. Going back to the future where the Death Star was created. Lord knows, man. The possibilities are endless. It's all speculation, of course. But you're right, Stephen. It's just great seeing all of these photos coming out. We're getting more and more information about this film. It's very much into production. A couple of months in now, I think. A month in. And it's great we're getting to see more and more stuff leaking out about this photo. The locations, it's always great to see a Star Wars film based in a desert location. It's synonymous with sand. Obviously Anakin didn't like sand, it got everywhere, it was coarse. But hey, can't please everyone. I've said that, it's a bit of a motto for me. Can't please everyone. It could be Jeddah, who knows, it could be Jeddah, it could be the Jeddah city, just obliterated. But again, Death Star tore that up pretty badly, so I don't know. My preference would be a completely new location. But I ain't JJ.
Yeah, I think if it's got some relevance, then I don't mind it going back to some of the old locations. But
exactly,
don't shoehorn it in. If it's something to do with possibly the past, that maybe Rey's finding some connection to Kyber crystals or something like that, then it makes sense, I suppose. But I think that was the purpose of Act 2. That was supposed to be the sort of home and beacon for the Jedi, and how they learn about the past and the origins of Jedi.
Could be a flashback as well, Stephen. You could have a flashback of Rey going back. It shows you Rey and Luke maybe working in conjunction, creating a new lightsaber. We never got to see that in the last the Return of the Jedi. That great deleted scene. We see Luke cowering over, finishing his iconic green lightsaber. We never got to see that. Maybe they'll write that wrong and we'll see Rey putting a lightsaber together. She may have went to Jeddah and get a Kyber crystal of her own. I don't know. Possibilities are endless. Or it could be that flashback moment with Luke and Jakku pulling down the Star Destroyer. Why would these weird alien creatures be standing there. I don't know.
It could be a flashback of looking back to the Toshi station to pick up some power converters.
Finally got his power converters. That would right or wrong.
We're going to move on, John, to the final piece of news this week. It's been very slow this week, Star Wars news, but that happens from time to time. Sometimes we're inundated with lots of things happening. This is actually a multiple series of, it seems to have a ripple effect, where the actual title of this article was in regards to Adam Driver had to postpone some university appearance for unexpected episode 9 changes. But as the article develops, we actually see that quite a few of the actors who are going to be appearing in episode 9 have been recalled in to do some reshoots and some unexpected changes to the storyline and stuff like that. I don't know what this means. I know the likes of Billy D. Williams has been called back in. There's also speculation Andy Serkis has suddenly dropped out of a convention as well, so I don't know what that means for the character of Snoke, or whether or not Andy Serkis is going to appear as a different character. Who knows? It's happened before. So it's the article itself it does headline with Adam Driver had to postpone this appearance at a university for a massive schedule change. I don't know what this means. When I first saw this article and the headline, I automatically thought it was in relation to what we were talking about last week in regards to those final scenes with Leia, the rotoscoping of Carrie Fisher into the scenes. But as you read on the article, it actually explains it's massive schedule changes. I don't know what this means, whether or not there's a shift in the storytelling, or whether or not they just change things about for some of the acts, whether or not Adam's going to be needed more at this stage in production or not. It might just be that they've seen the actors' schedules and they realise they need them in now. Yeah. Who knows? It says massive schedule change. It doesn't say anything about massive story change or anything like that. So it could be down to actors' schedules having to be rejigged because they've got other projects.
Yeah, well, you can take it with a pinch of salt anyway, Stephen, because it's coming from Reddit. Yeah. Some chap on Reddit, Riri19911, leaked it, and apparently it was a statement from Adam Driver's team, or Adam Driver himself, regarding this dropping out of the university appearance. Apparently it said Star Wars just had a massive schedule change, and given what they need to shoot next week, they need Adam to rehearse all day tomorrow. It feels terrible letting everyone down and doing this last minute, but has been left with no choice. This will be rescheduled at a later date, so that's intriguing. It doesn't really tell you why. Obviously they don't know. He's not going to tell them, oh, my character's been killed off and I'm doing this. not going to divulge any information like that, spoiler information. But it's very intriguing that they are making these changes, even just now in the midst of production. They're chopping and changing things about, and it does lead into this story I was mentioning as well about Dominic Monaghan, talking about his role and how when he stepped into the role, it was a fairly minor role he had. He was only present in Act 1 of the film, but that JJ explained to him that there was going to be lots of big action sequences, massive sequences in Act 2 and in Act 3, and obviously as he read the script he would notice he wasn't involved in any of them, but don't worry about it, because he wanted him there. He wanted him to be invested in it, and then when later on they would redraft some of those things about and he'd see him more. So that's intriguing that they're making changes as they bring these guys in. Dominic Monaghan originally was like a Poe Dameron figure. He was only having a minor bit part role, but he may have this fleshed out to have a bigger role going forward. And also it does say at the bottom of the article about Monaghan as well that Billy D. Williams, when he was brought in, this affected Jonas Satamo's schedule. He had to pull out of a convention appearance or something like that anyway and come back for shoots. Apparently he's going to have potentially interactions with Lando Calrissian now. Maybe he didn't have that before, so it's clear that they're making casting announcements, and this is impacting on scheduling and stuff, and they're having to rejig the story to fit these guys in. Or maybe he's just JJ's deciding, listen, we've got these guys on board now, we'll do this, we'll do that, we'll change things, this shakes it up and this may impact on this character's acting this way, so we'll do that. So it's very intriguing indeed. Dominic Monaghan may have a bigger role now. That Jonas Satamo is now maybe interacting with Billy D. Williams. I want to see that anyway. Yeah. Chewbacca and Lando have to interact. Hopefully they're on the Millennium Falcon, they're going to this wooded planet, and their stories are going to be interconnected, because one thing I definitely want to see is Chewbacca taking control of the Falcon. That's his ship now, as far as I'm concerned. It ain't Rey's, it's not Poe's, certainly ain't any other characters, it's Chewbacca's. So I want to see him taking control of that, going off and having adventures with Lando, and we'll see how it interconnects with the story. But it's absolutely fascinating seeing the rejigging and how this is impacting on schedules and what it may mean for the story. I don't know, because they don't tell you. But very interesting, the big sequences and set pieces we're getting in Act 2 and 3. That would suggest that this is going to be maybe a little bit quiet at the start. We'll be focusing maybe on Rey's journey and how the story's impacting her, following her. Then it goes absolutely crazy from the middle of the film to the end. So that's exciting as well.
Yeah, I think you're right, John. I think it's going to be a slow build-up, the first act. I think it's going to really just a change of pace from what the Last Jedi was. And I think that first act will probably focus more on Rey and her development as a Jedi Knight. I think she might be at that point. Certainly it would sort of parallel Luke's progression at that stage in his life as well. So that would make sense, and then all goes hell for leather, for those final 2 acts. I certainly wouldn't mind seeing that. Certainly, it was one of the problems with Return of the Jedi was that it started off really great with the Jabba palace stuff, and then it kind of fell by the wayside when we got to Endor. And I think what saved that was probably when we were coming back and forth between Endor and the second Death Star scenes with Luke, Vader and the Emperor. I hope they don't try and match that film, because a lot of people had a lot of complaints about The Force Awakens mirroring A New Hope too much, and then Rian Johnson goes the other way with The Last Jedi, although there was things that reminded you of Empire Strikes Back, like Hoth and Crate, so there was a lot of mirroring there as well. And also Rey's journey at that point was very similar to Luke's journey when he was on Dagobah. So it's going to be very interesting to see. It's quite an eye-opener of an article, especially that point when you're reading about Dominic Monaghan's appearances, because you're right, we've talked about his announcement, I think maybe about 2 months ago, and it was going to be just a bit part. That's what we picked up from the article anyway at that stage, and it was really just J.J. Abrams bringing in one of his friends, like a lot of directors do. They bring in one of their mates just to give them some scenes so they can say they were in a Star Wars movie, but this seems to have developed a lot more since then.
It was overshadowed, if you do recall, by Matt Smith.
That's right, yeah, and we've not really heard much about the Matt Smith character since then either, so it's good to see that we're getting some kind of, I would say things are starting to take shape now as far as the production goes. As you said, we're only in a month into the production now, but we're getting a lot of little snippets now, how this is going. Seeing some of these set shots as well whets the appetite. And I just can't wait to see how this develops, because we've got a long way to go before this film's released. So there's going to be a lot of speculation. There's got to be a lot of leaks. There's going to be a lot of fan theories as well. And this is what makes Star Wars, the Star Wars community, that unique. Because it's not just a film to these people, it's an event, and it's the build up to that event. And I'm certainly on board for this.
Yeah, so am I. Final thing I'll add, a couple of little things in. When you were discussing the similarities between JJ and the criticism he got for The Force Awakens, first thing that sprung to my mind, that wooden location and the desert location, mirroring the Return of the Jedi. Tatooine at the start, desert, ends in a wooden location, so I hope he's not going down that road again. Although you could do far worse than mirroring one of the original trilogy films, because they are still the gold standard for me. But listen, you're right, Stephen, speculation will be rife. And that is what makes the Star Wars community what it is. It takes minor bit part players on the peripheries of the main story and transforms them into something special. But I digress. That brings us to the end of this week's Force Friday show, where we do discuss all things Star Wars. We'd just like to thank you for listening to us once again, and we'll be back next Tuesday with Box Office Chat.
Remember guys, if you enjoyed that episode, then do hit that like button, comment below, and maybe subscribe to the channel if you haven't done already. If you want to follow us on social media for all the latest updates from Movie Burner Entertainment, then we can be found on Twitter and Facebook at Movie Burners. You can also listen to us on Google Play and iTunes at the Movie Burner Podcast. And last but not least, if you want to access all the latest written reviews and the occasional article, then that can be found on our website at movieburnerentertainment.org. Until the next time, goodbye.